Welcome back to Hobbyist Novitiate. My name is Josh, and this time we're painting Inwit Phalangites. Grab a hot drink and a biscuit, and let's dig in. The Inwit Phalangites fight alongside the Imperial Fists mostly, and are an elite force in the Solar Auxillia, specialising in garrison warfare. I think looking at the pictures of the Inwit Phalangites that Games Workshop released, it's pretty clear that there are a few key things to really nail. There's this tan on the undersuit for the infantry, which, looking at the vehicles, becomes the hull colour, and then the black and the yellow, making sure that they stand out, really helps them feel like they are allies of the Imperial Fists. They have this really nice, slightly yellowish tan colour to the hulls. That's the thing that I really wanted to nail most on this. They don't paint any of the trim here, which is something else I wanted to do. I normally paint all the trim on all of my vehicles for the Solar, and I wanted to see if I could get some models that really stood out and looked nice without having the trim painted. So here we are, we've got a Chaos Black primed model, and I'm coming in with some Dust Bowl from Two Thin Coats, giving it a nice Drybrush. This is the first time I've used Two Thin Coats paints, and I've got to say I really like them. I think I'll be buying much more of it going forwards. The aim of this first Drybrush is to get a nice base coat without filling in any of the recesses, leaving a bit of that black in there just so that you have some nice dark shadows. After that, we're coming in with the next colour up in the Triad, Sandstone, and giving a lighter dry brush across the top sides of each surface. This is to help sort of bring in some of that volumetric lighting, really make it feel like it's got a colour gradient from dark to light. To further accentuate that, we're going to use the Templestone, which is the top colour in the Triad, and just hit the very tops and the very sticky outy bits, for want of a better technical term. Already I think this starts to look really nice and builds this nice complex hull colour. Once we've blocked out all of our main hull colour, I'm coming in with some Yriel yellow to start picking out some of the stripes. I think getting the livery right on these models is really important. There are lots of different ways that you can paint them, lots of different good places that you can be painting the lines, but I chose to go for some nice thin ones here. After that, I'm coming in with Death Reaper, which is just a slightly off black from Two Thin Coats, and using this to fill out some slightly thicker bars on the sides of the tank. Already, I think this vehicle is starting to look really nice. I'm pleased with how it's coming together. There you go, little spin round, you can just see it's starting to stand out really clearly as an Inwit Phalangite vehicle. After that, the Dwarven Iron from Two Thin Coats is going across all of the weapons and the back hatch of the vehicle as well. This is a really nice sort of dark metal. It's a little bit darker than Leadbelcher. Actually very similar colour to putting Ratling Grime over the top of Leadbelcher. So if you want to do that quicker and easier, get a similar look, this is a nice way to do it. But for here I just wanted that sort of dark metal as an undercoat. I'm putting this on the hatches as well, and also the tracks of the vehicle. Once I've put the Dwarven Iron on the tracks, I wanted to experiment with some ways of making sort of rusted, grimy metal that was a little bit different and quite easy. So I ended up mixing 50/50 Magmadroth Flame and Ratling Grime together, and then putting that over all of the tracks, and then in a few spots here on the back of certain bits. And once it dries, this gives a really nice sort of dark, dirty rust look. I'm really pleased with how it looked, and it was super easy. So a great one to give a go if you're trying to get some rust on your models. Then I'm coming in with a little bit of Leadbelcher just to pick out a few of the extra details on the vehicle. These little tension coils, the lights on the top, some of the door hatches and things like that. Anything that I thought should just stand out a little bit more. We're not painting the trim, so it's nice to pick out a few of the extra details on the model instead, just to give it that visual interest. There you go, painting the fans on the back. Little things like that really help it stand out. Once that's done, I'm using Runefang steel to pick out all of the bits, all of the lenses and lights, anything I'm going to paint with a little bit of a glow. This really bright steel looks good with some contrast paint over the top, which I'm doing here with some Hexwraith Flame, which is a nice glowy green and looks really good once you put it over some bright silver. As you can sort of see there already, getting that sort of nice glowy headlamp effect. Now I wanted to really experiment with something new and find a nice way of giving the model a bit more grunge and grime. Really grime it up and weather it down. So I'm using Streaking Grime from AK. I've never really used this before. This video was recorded before the Titan Challenge, so this is the first time I used it. And then that was the second time. But I started off putting it very sparingly over the model, and then by the end I kind of just covered it everywhere. But making sure that I'm putting thicker towards the bottom of each surface so that I'm playing with the gradients I've already established. For me, the weathering of a model is one of the most satisfying bits. I find the base coating is really just getting you where you need to be to then play around with all the details, and that's where the model really starts to come to life. And so at this point I'm having a huge amount of fun just working out the story of this model, where all this grime's come from, where it's been, who's been stepping all over it. It's just good fun. Yeah, here I go, just kind of slapping it everywhere now. Once that's done, I've got a cotton bud that I've dipped in a little bit of mineral spirits, and I'm just gently wiping away at the top sides of things, picking out the raised areas, just removing some of that streaking grime. It's a reductive painting tool, so you kind of put it on and then take it off slowly to give the final look that you want. I had a bit of trouble with the cotton bud starting to leave hair fibres on the model, so I'm not sure I'd do it like this if I were going to do it again. Maybe I'd use a microfiber cloth or something instead, give that a go, see how that works. Yeah, you can start to see this is really coming together. It's looking grimy, but not too grimy. Still got a bit of that lightness in some of the tops of the surfaces. And here we go, the final result. I really, really like how this has come out. It's got just enough of that sort of matte dirtiness, but a lot of the sort of glints of metallics coming through. And the hull colour is really nice. That gradient from the from the Dust Bowl to the Templestone just has a nice sort of complex look to it that I really like. This is a lovely way to go if you're going to paint a model without doing any trim. And yeah, really pleased with it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.